could Beam hypothetically reach the price of $1 in 2025? I think maybe, even though that's not a guarantee. The way you take a look at it is that we've seen time and time again, historically speaking, altcoins, they typically peak as a worst case scenario around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, the last Bitcoin halving event happened back in April of 2024. So 18 months from then would actually mean around October of 2025. So again, that's why I say 2025, even though that's not financial advice. Now, is this like a surefire date? Am I saying, yeah, exactly, it's going to reach the price of $1 at that point? No, this is just speculative. Now, things can happen a little bit earlier, a little bit later. We just don't know. But if anything, this does give a good guiding point. And I think sometime in 2025, we could very well see Beam just hypothetically showcase what it's capable of, because not only has Beam done very well, relatively speaking, as of late, but I think there's still ways to go, because keep in mind, $1 is still around a 39x from here. So again, I still think that Beam has some in the gas tank. And why would it not? After all, if we take a look at Beam, what is so special about it? We got to take a look at how it's an open source blockchain that is specialized for gaming. Now, people may think, okay, gaming, okay, who cares about this? But when you think about it, blockchain gaming, I think it's only fair to assume that it's going to be the next big thing moving forward. If you take a look at blockchain gaming, the market size is predicted to be worth over $300 billion by 2030, according to Grandview Research. Now, people may argue that, okay, 2030 is ages away at this point, even though we're in 2025. Yeah, this is just way too long. The market is going to take too long to grow. But during a fully fledged bull run, what do people usually care about? They care about the narrative. They don't really care about current adoption, if that makes sense. They usually care about, okay, what something could be as opposed to what it already is. Because we see many projects out there focus on the metaverse, focus on DeFi, NFTs, whatever the case may be. Some of them never launch anything, and we see them do very well. So the way you take a look at it is that when it comes to this narrative of blockchain gaming, again, it doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be the biggest as of right now, but I think all that matters is that it could hypothetically be something in the future. And why would blockchain gaming not gain good attention? Because if you take a look at, even despite blockchain gaming not being perfect, let's say when you take a look at play-to-earn games, the tokenomics are out of whack. And also, on top of the bad tokenomics, in some cases, also the graphics in games are just very bad overall. Even despite that, I think it's only fair to assume that it's going to get better moving forward, because blockchain gaming is just getting started. And think about why play-to-earn games could be so special. If you think about it, people usually, when they play video games, traditionally speaking, they can't earn any income from it. Let's say someone pays $70 or whatever like that for the Batman game. I don't play video games anymore, but I used to back in the day. But even besides that, let's say someone paid that to buy Batman. Can they realistically earn income from that if they're just playing in their living room on their off time? Yeah, not really. Unless they're a streamer or something like that, or an influencer, then how can they earn income by doing that? So again, when you think about it, play-to-earn games does give this opportunity for the quote-unquote average individual to be able to earn income by playing games. Now, again, there still needs to be a lot to be solved. Like, for instance, the games are usually kind of bad, and also the tokenomics are a bit caca. But again, something like Beam could save the day, because you take a look at, again, Beam is an open source blockchain specialized for gaming. So you got to think about that. Beam could really save the day in this aspect. And when the wave for blockchain gaming really kicks in a massive way, guess who's going to be there to catch the wave? It's going to be something like Beam. They're not going to be chasing later on. They're anticipating, and that's the genius move about them. Now, also, not to mention, we take a look at, for instance, one of the main components of Beam is the Beam Software Development Kit, aka SDK for short. Now, you may be thinking, okay, why is it so special? Because this allows game developers to choose from a variety of tools that can be used to fuel and structure their in-game blockchain elements. So yeah, basically, long story short, Beam is just focused on blockchain gaming. No one's really going to care about this type of stuff, but I'm just going to mention it anyways. But even besides that point, we take a look at the Beam ecosystem, which people may think is a little bit boring. And when I say this, it may seem boring, but for those who actually like Beam, I think they'll think that, wow, this is very special. But again, generally speaking, it is focused on blockchain gaming. But of course, Beam, when it comes to this ecosystem, there is something called BeamSwap, which is a decentralized exchange. Also, the Beam Layer 0 bridge, a bridging solution to transfer tokens between Beam and other blockchains. We also take a look at Sphere, which is an NFT marketplace. Now, that's pretty good. Not to be confused with the Las Vegas Sphere, by the way. The Las Vegas Sphere is very cool, but you know what? This maybe, some people may argue, is as cool, if not cooler. No, I'm just joking. No one's going to say that. I mean, come on. This is not cooler than the Las Vegas Sphere. But even besides that, We also take a look at the Beam OS, a portal for exploring tools and apps on the chain. A little bit boring, who cares about that? We also take a look at the Beam Block Explorer, a tracking platform for all Beam transactions and statistics. So overall, when I take a look at Beam, the way you take a look at it is that it's pretty much focused on blockchain gaming, but then its ecosystem is very diverse. So that's pretty good in my opinion. Now, we also have to take a look at why is Beam so special? In a sense that it has a very good aspect of decentralization. Now, what do I mean by this? Guess who initially launched, or should I say started Beam? That is something called the Merit Circle DAO. Now, when you take a look at Merit Circle, why is it so amazing? It's because when you take a look at a DAO, what that stands for is a decentralized autonomous organization. Now, the amazing thing about a DAO is the fact that it's even been stated that it's an entity that is designed to be fully autonomous without a central point of control. So that's amazing. The rules of a DAO are established by a core team of committee members and is executed through smart contracts. So it's kind of a relatively hands-off type of experience. You know, it's like a self-driving taxi or whatever, like the ride-sharing service. It kind of still has that central control in a sense. Well, not really. There is a guideline, but then, of course, it's kind of like still automated in a sense. That's the way you take a look at a DAO, even though it's not a direct translation, because the way you take a look at a DAO is that it is very decentralized. But again, when you take a look at what is the most decentralized aspect of a ride-sharing service, I think it's pretty much those, self-driving services, right? Those self-driving cars. And again, when I take a look at something like the Merit Circle DAO, it's kind of basically like that. Or should I say just a DAO in general? But yeah, even besides that point, we take a look at to obtain voting power or membership in a DAO, users are typically required to own its governance token, and anyone who holds Beam can vote. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So again, I think Beam could be very special during this bull run. $1 wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $50 billion, which is still over $30 billion less than Dogecoin's all-time high market cap. So I don't think it's too insane. And when you have over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, I don't think this warrant is going to be bad. I think this warrant, if anything, is going to hypothetically look very legendary, but only time will tell. I can't say 100% for sure, but I do believe in blockchain gaming. I do believe in the fundamentals of Beam. Beam also, not to mention, has great exposure. It's listed in a bunch of major exchanges. I think it has the recipes for hypothetical success, but only time will tell. I don't have a magic crystal ball to tell the future, but you know what? I do believe in the future of Beam, and I think it's a very special project, and I really can't wait. Now, people may think that, okay, it's kind of a long time, but you know what? Even if I have to wait till the end of 2025, it is what it is, because in the meantime, I'm going to be accumulating more Beam, holding, and just waiting, because that's it. If it happens earlier, that's great. Happens a little bit later, I'll just accumulate more. That's my mindset. But again, $1 for Beam, that really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And 2025, at least based off of history, could hypothetically be a special year for something like a bunch of altcoins, including Beam, but only time will tell. But I'm very excited. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.